So, Arsenal drops points against Manchester City at the Etihad. The game was supposed to be a defensive masterclass, but it turned out to be a defensive disaster class in the last few seconds of the game. So, I'm going to give you my reaction and review of the game, talking about the referee's decision. We'll also give some post match statistics about the game, as well as preview briefly the Arsenal Bolton game in the midweek. So, please subscribe if you're new or yet to do so, like the content, and also leave your own comment below. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Daaaft. Hope you're having a beautiful and fantastic day because yesterday's game was not so fantastic. I was going to give my review and my reaction afterwards, but I was too emotional, and so I decided to give it a rest and gather my thoughts and do a reflection and give my own opinion. I'm yet to see any real analysis on the game. I didn't watch much of the day. I didn't watch a lot of fan cams after the game so that I can keep my own opinion fresh. I still watch Yardman and Kelechi on AFTV. Those are the only two match reactions I've watched, but I've not really seen anything from anybody. So this opinion is very, very unfiltered as it is right now. The game was very, very intense. I'm going to start with some pre and post match antics from Manchester City players. At the end of last season, Rodri came out to make a statement saying the game against Arsenal, they knew Arsenal didn't have the mentality for the game because they didn't come to win. They came to play for a draw. This time we came for a win, right? We came for a win. And because of the statement that Rodri made, he decided to be a WAP and act like a WAP on the pitch. Because in the first few seconds of the game, he had a little bosh with Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz came out on top because Havertz left a little one on him. And also, he tried to feign injuries a couple of times, and he actually got injured. So, where is your own mentality right now? I thought you were the boss. Why are you trying to pretend to be injured and trying to get people sent off? Is that what a boss mentality does? Glad he was rolled out of the pitch because that was very, very disturbing for me, a grown man acting like a child. But also another idiot that came out after the game was Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva coming out to say, oh, Arsenal came to defend. He respected Liverpool more because Liverpool came to attack, blah, 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 blah. Defending is also a tactic, okay? Now, when the Manchester City players came to the Emirates last season, what was your formation? What was your tactic? Uh, Let me remind you, you came to defend. You guys came to defend. Even 2 seasons ago, when you won 4-1 at the Emirates, we remember the game. The scoreline says 4-1, but all of us watching the game knew that the scoreline did not reflect the performance because your coach and you guys came to park the bus at the Emirates. So, what does that say about your mentality? Does that mean that you don't respect your own players and your own manager? That's another WAP. You can go and drink some sugar honey iced tea. Okay. Now let's come back to the game, beginning with the starting 11, right? The starting 11. But before we get to starting 11, like I said, they came to fight us because of Rodri and Silva thinking that Arsenal are the same Arsenal from previous years, trying to bully us down the team, bully us around the pitch. Haaland trying to leave one on Saliba in the 3rd minute, and Rodri doing all his antics and falling down every time. Doku doing his antics and yeah, it was just chaos. But at the end of the day, we I would say we had a good showing in the first half and a good showing in the second half until Gabriel Jesus came into the match. And I'm going to talk about him because I'm pinning that loss solely on Gabriel Jesus, and I'm going to explain why. So let's start with the starting 11. Starting 11, there was a little surprise there. I didn't expect to see Calafiori starting the game, but I can understand Timber being on the right because Benjamin White has not really had a good start to the season. And to be fair, he doesn't really have good starts to the season. He usually picks up from the second half of the season, from like December, January time. You see Ben White all on it. So he has not been on form in the last few games. He has been shaky. He was shaky against Tottenham, shaky against Atalanta, shaky against Brighton. So I can understand why Mikel Arteta would want to leave him on the bench for this one because you want someone to be 100% focused. You don't want the shaky moments. You already have Partey that's very, very shaky. You don't want Partey and Benjamin White shaky at the same time. So I understood the change. Calafiori, I didn't really see what he did against the Brighton game. People online and on the YouTube sphere were saying Calafiori had a good game against Brighton. So I guess the manager felt the same way as well. So brought Calafiori into the starting 11 and he was shaky. He was very, very shaky. You know, what a game to have your first Premier League start at the Etihad. So I was a bit furious in the first 10, 15 minutes with Calafiori. And not just him and Gabriel Martinelli as well, because Gabriel Martinelli, I believe, left him out to dry. Because at every point in time, Savinho and Bernardo Silva had Calafiori on toast. They stretched him out wide because Calafiori can only follow one person. Okay, if he's following Bernardo Silva, Savino is free. If he's following Savino, Bernardo Silva is free, and sometimes Gundogan coming from the middle to double up on him, and that kind of left him shaky. And because of it was moments like that that led Savino to get Haaland to score the first goal of the game, and the 100th goal in the Premier League. Apparently, fair play to him. But I think that was one of three things that Haaland did in the game. That goal, a little header, and him acting like a child at the end of the game when they equalized at the last few seconds. Because when they equalized, you can see how frustrated he was that he had to actually pick the ball from the net and threw that against Gabriel Magalhaes. That shows how frustrated he was, acting like a child. He's a child robot. It should be called 1E. If you know, you know. Right. So Calafiori, defensive mistake. Gabriel also has a mistake as well at the time. But you can't win against Haaland in a foot race. It rarely, rarely happens, and it's called a different type of goal. Raya could we have done better? Maybe, but it's Haaland. It's not normal. He had his 100th goal. Calafiori made a mistake. Gabriel made a mistake. And the good thing about the game is, or good thing about Arsenal team right now is, we are resolute. Not even after the goal, I didn't think that we were going to lose the game. It was annoying, it was frustrating because I felt that that would give Manchester City the ascendancy. Their fans were beginning to get very, very loud, all of that stuff. But Calafiori redeemed himself and made Kyle Walker begin to cry like another child, complaining about the referee. Right, there was a free kick given. He ran back. He ran back to his position and raised his hand. I don't know what raising the hand means, but to players, it probably means I'm ready now. Start the free kick. He raised his hand. We played our free kick. Calafiori scored. And you know the funny thing? Calafiori shot from outside the box. So it's not like Calafiori dribbled him 1-on-1 or it was offside, blah, 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 blah. He had enough time to get back into the box, get back into position. Calafiori scored fair and square. That was a brilliant goal. What a good goal for Calafiori from outside the box as well. We don't really shoot from outside the box. So that was good to know. And I think it calmed me down a bit, calmed the Etihad fans as well a bit, gave the Arsenal fans some impetus going into the game. And Bukayo Saka did his thing with our corner kicks. The first one, Gabriel Magalhaes had a header. I think he should have done better there. And then the second one, Kyle Walker again, childish, trying to poke and tickle Gabriel Magalhaes. That's not the way to defend. And good for, he doesn't know that that's why we call the guy the big Gabby. If he didn't know, now he knows. Because he tried to tickle the guy and, poke him around, and Gabriel Magalhaes did some netball dodge, beat him, head the ball into the net. 2-1. We had more chances to bury the game. Trossard hitting Sky in the ball, Martinelli also Sky in the ball, but I guess it was not meant to be. So, yeah, I think that's the main thing. And also, when Calafiori scored, Calafiori made Pep Guardiola to become Nick Fury because he was so furious he wanted to break his own chair at the Etihad. Right? We didn't do anything. Your players should sort themselves out. I thought they said Kyle Walker is one of the fastest players in the league. He should run back to his position, and that's what it is. You guys snoozed. You snooze, you lose, and you lost in the first half. I believe that Arsenal were the better team from like the 25th minute upward to the end of the first half before Michael Oliver did his thing. Now, let's talk about Michael Oliver. I do a different podcast called Run of Play Podcast on YouTube, Run of Play Pod. You can check that out. One of the panel members, Dixon, said that, having Oliver ref a City game is going to be a difficult one, right? Those are not the exact words he used, but I'm paraphrasing right here. He's basically saying Oliver doesn't really do anything against Manchester City. And if you've been on social media in the last 24 hours, you will see all of the stats and comments about what Oliver has done. And it's just frustrating to me because usually I don't care about referees' performances, right? Referees make mistakes all the time. You win some, you lose some, especially the EPL refs. They're very, very inconsistent. It's them and their friends that are in the VAR, so they're always going to support each other. So Doku had the free kick, or Arsenal had the free kick. Doku kicked the ball away, delaying the restart, because kicking the ball away is not an offense, but delaying the restart is an offense, right? Doku got away with that one. And he kicked the ball away minutes after the whistle had been blown, right? Now, Trossard's yellow card, second yellow card, Trossard barged into Bernardo Silva, I believe, and then went for the ball. Referee blew. Even I didn't hear the whistle, but it's on the pitch. Maybe he heard, maybe he didn't. Like um, in the same run of play, that's what happened, right? They blew the whistle. The ball was already in the air, so he kicked the ball, and they gave him a second yellow card for that. I initially thought that the second yellow card was because he backed Bernardo Silva. So even in our group chat, the run of play group chat, I was like, well, it's a second yellow card because if you say kicking the ball away, second yellow card. If you say barging Bernardo Silva, second yellow card. So regardless, Trossard was doomed. It's Michael Oliver. But a lot of things has happened since then. There's so many questions that were asked, and I listened to the right people on AFTV's platform, because Yadman also did not try to blame the ref. And Kelechi asked a very serious question. How can you delay a restart if the injured player is still on the floor? So if the actual offense was that Trossard kicked the ball away, delaying the restart, how can he delay the restart if a player still needs treatment on the floor? So it shows that Michael Oliver was quick to react. And the funny thing is, last season at the Emirates, Kovacic was meant to be sent off, and their excuse was that Oliver didn't want to destroy what was meant to be a good game. How come he's destroying what is meant to be a good game this time? Because City is losing. Anyways, you let me know what you think in the comment section below, because anyways, the ref is the ref. Don't care about the ref. We should have done better. Right. Second half, Mikel Arteta decided to take Saka out of the game. And once he took Saka out of the game, I knew that we're not going to score anymore, because the only creative outlet we have on the pitch is Bukayo Saka. Right. It's the one that usually crosses the ball, and it's the one that when we have a corner kick, more often than not, lands the ball in the right area. Declan Rice did that at like January last season, but he's not really done it this time. So once Saka was off, I knew this was going to be a defensive game, and boy, did we defend. Did we defend? We defended with our lives. Everyone was on point. Martinelli was on point. Calafiori was on point. Even Shaky Partey was still on point for the most part. I don't know why he's shaky. I don't know why he doesn't have confidence, but that's a discussion for another day. Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Havertz, everyone was on point, right? We defended, they were shooting, they were huffing and puffing, right? To the point where they had to go bring in like Jack Grealish had no joy. Phil Foden, I don't even remember him taking any shots, but John Stones got his thing in the end. And this is why I'm going to blame Gabriel Jesus for this, because Martinelli had done a fantastic job for 87 minutes defending. Why are you dribbling back to the corner kick? I do not understand. Why can't you just kick the ball out like everyone has been doing? Kick the ball to the throw-in, kick the ball to Ederson. You can do many things, even pass the ball. Why are you trying to dribble and come back to the 18-yard box? Not 18-yard box, like, you know what I mean. When it came back into our own half and then got in the corner trying to pretend and got yellow card. To me, that is double agent Jesus right here. Okay, you are not a Manchester City legend. Yes, you won 4 Premier League titles with them, but they don't respect you. The fans don't respect you. So you doing the double agent, trying to get them into the game, is not going to cause them to respect you, because even now, in my preview, I was hoping and predicting that Gabriel Jesus comes to start instead of Havertz. Havertz in the midfield and Jesus up top. Maybe if that happened, Trossard will not be there to be sent off. Michael, I've come up in the second half, right? But yeah, this guy needs to be sold now, right? This, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, get to the chopper. He needs to go to the chopper and be evacuated from the Emirates. Evacuated. He shouldn't even play any Champions League anymore. He should be barred from even sitting on the touchline for the next 5-6 games. I don't want to see Gabriel Jesus anywhere in the starting 11 again. Not even the Champions League that he does well, because that was very frustrating. We've done everything that we could. We've done everything that we could, only for you to give them a corner kick. Annoying, frustrating, but it is what it is. What can I say? What can I say? Let's do some quick player ratings. David Raya, excellent performance. Excellent performance to David Raya. All the saves that he made, brilliant. Julian Timber, excellent performance. Gabriel Magalhaes, excellent performance. Yes, he slipped up, but redeemed himself with the goal. William Saliba, excellent performance. Haaland was frustrated. Bernardo Silva was frustrated. You can see him coming out to chat rubbish after the game. Calafiori, shaky performance at the start, redeemed himself. So I'm bumping him up to excellent performance, because I know he could have done more to release Gabriel Martinelli some time, but I was taking an excellent performance because, yeah, it was a fantastic game. Thomas Partey, good performance. It was shaky sometimes, but it is what it is. Declan Rice, excellent performance, defensively sound. Leandro Trossard, you get an all right performance, right? The chance fell to you, you missed it, and you cost us the game basically. So, all right performance to Leandro Trossard. Martinelli, excellent performance. I believe it was on it this time. He doesn't want to be benched. Bukayo Saka, for the part that you were there, I would say good performance because you had an assist. And in the post-match start, I'll read an interesting start to you, the audience, to know that Saka is our star boy. Even Sean T from Run of Play podcast, and it's also a contributor on Scatayan. When Bukayo Saka put the ball, like crossed the ball in and we scored, he was like quality player. And he's an Arsenal hater. He hates Arsenal so much, but he gave credit to Bukayo Saka. So I would say good performance for your time in there. I mean, bias, whatever. Kai Havertz, all right performance. All right performance, I'll say to Kai Havertz. Yes, I don't really remember him doing much in the team. Yes, he stood up, he showed mentality, showed guile and balls, but that's all he did. So all right performance to Trossard, all right performance to Kai Havertz. But everyone else, excellent performance and good to Saka. That's the player rating. Overall team performance. No, let's rate Gabriel Jesus, because Gabriel Jesus, I don't like to rate substitutes, but Gabriel Jesus gets a minus 0.00001. Like I said, he needs to be evacuated from the club. I don't want to see him again. I don't want to see him after this. Maybe I might change my mind later, but for right now, I don't want to see him. He shouldn't even show his face against Bolton. He should not wear any jersey for the next 5 to 10 games. He can come back after the international break for all I care, right? But overall team performance, I'll say 10 out of 10, because we went there with the mentality to win. Yes, we defended for about 52 minutes in the second half. There was a time in the game where our touches in the opposite half was 2 compared to 109 Manchester City in our half. But we nearly did it. But as we used to say growing up, nearly cannot kill a bird. So you have to actually hit the target to do anything. But yeah, I'll still give them 10 out of 10 because we did really, really well. And we've shown to the league that we are not here to play. Arteta is the guy. Right? People like to banter Arteta. Now they know Arteta is the guy. Arsenal is the real deal. Are we going to win the league? Remains to be seen, but I hope we can. And we've also shown on Arteta that he is the man that's going to win the league. He's shown that every season he improves, he learns from his mistakes. The players always let him down from time to time, but again, it's his tactics. And the funny thing is, even though I don't want to blame him too much, right? I think he should have left Julian Timber to the end of the game. I thought maybe he thought, oh yeah, we're nearly there, we're going to win, because he brought Lewis Kelly at the 92nd minute. That in his mind is saying, okay, we've done everything. Should they have brought Sterling on? No, because Sterling is not going to defend, right? We saw it against Atlanta Yes, it tracks back, but it's not really defensively minded. Gabriel Jesus tends to be defensively minded, but then it let him down, right? But so, anyways, manager, I'll give a 10 out of 10. You did your best, but the guy, Gabriel, Jesus, Jesus. Anyway, that's that for the player performance. Let's look at some post-match statistics. You can find this information also on Arsenal's website, but I'm looking at Opta Analyst. That's my preferred go-to choice. Manchester City versus Arsenal post-match. Fact. We already know this. Erling Haaland scored his 100th goal for Manchester City in all competitions. Don't care about anything else. Manchester City's equalizer in the 98th minute was their latest goal scored on record in a Premier League match from 2006-2007 season. And it was from their 28th shot in the second half, the joint second highest ever by a side on record from 2003-2004 league football, basically. They're even the ones that had the highest one as well, no, behind Manchester City 34 versus QPR. And this time they had 28 shots in the second half, which is their second highest. Fair enough. Who cares? No one cares. If I read it's weird, whatever. Um, Arsenal recorded just 22% possession against City, their second lowest on record from 2003-04 invincible season in the Premier League game, after 20% versus City in August 2021. So them saying we've come to park the bus is not strange. They're playing against City. They are the home team. They're supposed to open us up. They are the home team. You should open it up. RIP takeoff. RIP Migos. But they didn't. They couldn't. They couldn't break us down. But whatever. And the Gunners averaged a 12.5 possession in the second half today. Wow. They had all the possession. Told them to try to break us down, but whatever. Another key post-match fact is Arsenal fell behind in a Premier League away game for the first time in 2024, with this their 12th such match on the road. So we've played 12 matches away, and it's the first time that we are falling behind. That's impressive, isn't it? This is the earliest that we've conceded home or away in the Premier League in 2024. And it was a freak goal as well. Since Mikel Arteta's first game in charge of Arsenal in December 2019, the Gunners have seen 17 red cards in the Premier League. So we've had 17 players red carded in the Premier League, and which is 4 more than any other club. The way the referees are targeting us and targeting the Arsenal fans, because right now we are on kick the ball away watch. They'll find any excuse to give us a yellow card, but not the other team, because they're like, oh, you guys want to be on ref watch. There you go. Take that one with you. So we need to be careful. And Trossard, this is Trossard's first red card in 175 appearances in the competition. Last time was Declan Rice's first red card ever. Now this is Trossard's first red card ever as well. Crazy. Don't care about John Stones. Bukayo Saka became the second player in the Premier League history to provide an assist in each of a team's first 5 games of a season after Thierry Henry. So only Arsenal players are breaking Arsenal players' record, and people don't want to give us the respect that we deserve. Last week, we saw that Gabriel's header is the 10th headed goal behind Giroud, Adebayo. I forgot the last person. And this time now, Bukayo Saka is on breaking Thierry Henry's record, right? No one else is breaking, like setting the pace. And you want to tell me that Arsenal are now back? Please, you guys should go and drink some sugar on the iced tea. Okay. Calafiori was the 20th player to score on his first Premier League start for Arsenal, but only the second of those to do so with a goal from outside the box after Fabio Vieira against Brentford in September 2022. His goal was Arsenal's first shot of the match. So first shot, first goal. It was a brilliant performance. Shame that we didn't win, but it is what it is. We hope for a better outing at our home. Now, there are different ways to see this game, right? Because if you want to look at, Tottenham and the Tottenham game and the Manchester City game, we had 4 points out of 6 in the Premier League. That is a good return. It's not a bad return. Okay, losing would have been crazy. We were close to winning. I wanted us to win, but alas, it was not meant to be. But then, if you want to look at it from the point of view as our three away games in the last 7 days, which is Atalanta, Tottenham, and Manchester City, we've only had 4 points out of a possible nine. That is not a good return. That is not a good return. But our next four games will be at home. I think Bolton, Leicester, someone else, and PSG. Right, those are our next four games. I think we need to start racking up the wins because you don't want to be drawing too many. Sometimes in the title race, too many draws feel like a loss. Yeah, we've drawn against Brighton, we've drawn against Manchester City. That's 4 points lost. Right, if we beat Brighton, and drew against City as we did, then we would have only lost 2 points. So we can't keep racking up draws. We need to be winning. No time for draws anymore. No room for errors against this Manchester City side. That's my own reaction and review of the game. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, please like the video and subscribe if you're new or yet to do so. Briefly, let's talk about Arsenal Bolton, the midweek game, before we round up for the episode. Um, for Arsenal Bolton, here are some quick statistics. In terms of the last 6 games, in the last 5 games, Arsenal has won 2 games and drawn 3. Bolton has won 3 and drawn 2. So they are coming to the Emirates with better form. But, Arsenal are the Premier League team, so we expect us to win. Looking at overall head-to-head, total matches we've played against them, 31 in total. We've won 18 times. They've only won 6 times and drawn 7. In terms of scoreline, we've scored 53 goals against them, and they've scored 31 goals against us. At the Emirates Stadium, we've won all. No, we've won. If we've played 15 times, we've won 11 and drawn 4 at the Emirates Stadium. So, and at Bolton's ground, we've won 7 times. They've won 7 times and drawn 3 times. In the Premier League, we've beat them 15 times out of 26. They've beat us 5 times and we've drawn 6. In the FA Cup, we've beat them twice. They beat us once. And in the Carabao Cup, which is the League Cup that we're playing this week, we've met only once and we beat them. So what does that say to me? We should be beating them. We should revenge. We need to get a win against Bolton, right? Play Lewis Kelly, play Ethan Wanyeri. Let's slap them. Okay, let's see Old Man Neto in the goalkeeping in the goalkeeper's position. Let's see what he does, whether he has a good distribution or he can be an able deputy to Raya. So this has been Daaaft. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Please just subscribe, do us a favor and subscribe, like the content. And I'll be back after the Bolton game to review that game and do a little preview of the Leicester game. On to the next episode. Stay safe, stay curious, use your brain, and see you soon. SCFR. Psst, psst. Oi. Subscribe. Press subscribe. Thank you.